If I asked you the question, what is man's greatest invention? What would your answer be? There's a lot of options. Would it be fire because it gives us warmth, protection, and the ability to cook our meals? Or perhaps you would pick the wheel because it's the driving force behind the beginnings of trade, commerce, and travel? While both of these are excellent choices, most of the time when we think about the greatest inventions of mankind, we tend to forget one of the most important ones of all: money. But unlike man's other great inventions, money is immaterial. Maybe that's why we don't often think of it in the same breath as some of the other great inventions. Things like fire and the wheel are tangible, but not money. Money is merely an idea, an illusion whose value is non-existent, only determined by the importance we place on it, or at least money as we know it today. This video will make you respect money, and therefore realizing the importance of money. It will help you to earn it. And if you find value within this video, you know what to do. Let's go. Chapter 1. The Mystery of Money. Imagine this. You crave a delicious pizza for dinner, but all you have are a couple of chickens you raised. Your neighbor has a steaming hot pizza, but they only want a whole car in exchange. Sounds like a lopsided trade, doesn't it? Though, nor car nor pizza was there at that time. But this was how people exchanged goods and services before money existed. A bit cumbersome, to say the least. Money came along as a solution to this problem. Think of it as a special token that everyone agrees has value. You can use this token instead of trading chickens for tents to buy things you need or want. Money makes trading much smoother and more efficient. There are two main types of money circulating today: physical stuff like coins and bills, and imaginary money like the numbers in your bank account. Both work in the same way, as a representation of value. Here's the surprising part. Money itself isn't inherently valuable. It's just a piece of paper or metal. The real value comes from what you can buy with it. Think of it like a game chip at an arcade. The chip itself isn't worth much, but it lets you play all sorts of fun games. So, how much is $1 really worth? It depends on a simple principle: scarcity. Imagine there are only a few game chips at the arcade. They're rare, so they let you play lots of games. But if there are tons of chips, they become common. And each chip lets you play fewer games. The same thing happens with money. If a government prints too much, each dollar loses its buying power. This phenomenon is called inflation. Things gradually cost more and more, even though the number of dollars stays the same. Just like keeping all your game chips at the end of the day doesn't win you anything. Storing money isn't always the best idea. It can actually lose value over time due to inflation. Chapter 2. The Evolution of Money. Before we dive into the inflation roller coaster, let's explore how money evolved from a barter system to the forms we know today. In the beginning, people exchanged goods directly. A farmer might trade some wheat for a blacksmith's tools. This method, called bartering, worked well for simple transactions, but became impractical as societies grew more complex and population boomed. Imagine a carpenter needing vegetables, but only having tools to offer. Who needs a whole tent in exchange for some shoes? Bartering became a game of finding someone who needed exactly what you had and had exactly what you wanted. A double coincidence of once. It was inefficient and frustrating. To make things easier, people started using commodities like salt, seashells, or even precious metals like gold and silver as a medium of exchange. This meant people could trade these readily accepted items for other goods and services. While more efficient than bartering, lugging around heavy bags of salt wasn't exactly convenient. Around 700 BC, China entered the scene with the first known metal coins. These coins were miniature versions of valuable tools, made of bronze for practicality. This marked a significant leap in the evolution of money, standardized, portable, and easier to manage. However, the value of these early coins was directly tied to the value of the metal they were made of. If you had a coin made from 1 gram of gold, it was worth exactly 1 gram of gold. This system worked well for a while, but it had its limitations. Chapter 3. The Rise of Fiat Money. Kings and rulers quickly discovered the power of money. The more precious metal coins you possessed, the more power and influence you wielded. So in 600 BCE, King Alyattes of Lydia, in present-day Turkey, created the first official mint. These coins were made from a mixture of gold and silver, stamped with an image to represent their value. Now, instead of weighing the metal, people could simply glance at the picture on the coin to determine its worth. This innovation made trading even more convenient. However, there was a problem. Precious metals like gold and silver were rare and expensive to mine. Kings, wanting more money in circulation, began to devalue existing coins by mixing cheaper metals with the precious ones. Soon, the image on the coin became more important than the actual metal content. This marked the birth of fiat money, money whose value is not tied to a physical commodity, but is established by a government decree. Today, most of the money we use is fiat money, such as paper bills and digital balances. We trust the government to maintain the value of these tokens. The convenience of fiat money is undeniable. It's easy to carry, store, and transact with. However, the power to create money also lies with the government. And as we'll see in the next chapter, this power can have unintended consequences. Chapter 4. The Inflation Rollercoaster. Remember the arcade game chips? We learned that the fewer chips there are, the more games you can play with each one. The same principle applies to money. The total amount of money in circulation affects its value. When a government prints too much money, it becomes more readily available. Just like a surplus of game chips, this leads to inflation, a sneaky thief that steals the buying power of your money. Let's imagine you have $100 today and can buy a delicious basket of groceries. But with too much money being printed, prices gradually rise. Next year, that same $100 might only buy you half the groceries. Inflation erodes the value of your money over time. Think about it like this. If everyone at the arcade suddenly got a handful of free game chips, what would happen? The games wouldn't get any more exciting, but the chips would become less valuable because there are more of them chasing the same number of games. So, why do governments print more money? Sometimes it's done to stimulate the economy during tough times. Printing money allows the government to invest in infrastructure, create jobs, and boost consumer spending. This can be helpful in the short term, but if done excessively, it can lead to runaway inflation. A classic example of hyperinflation happened in Germany after World War I. The government printed vast amounts of money to pay off war debts, causing prices to skyrocket. People ended up using wheelbarrows full of cash just to buy a loaf of bread. Thankfully, such extreme inflation is rare in modern times, but it serves as a reminder of the dangers of uncontrolled money printing. Chapter 5. The Money Game. How to Stay Ahead. We've explored the history of money, the concept of inflation, and the power governments hold over our currency. Now, the question remains, how can we play the money game and come out ahead, even with inflation lurking around the corner? The answer lies in understanding that money is a tool, not a treasure chest. Just like keeping all your arcade tokens at the end of the day doesn't win you anything, holding on to cash won't necessarily make you richer. In fact, Due to inflation, it might even make you poorer over time. The key to staying ahead of the game is to invest your money. Investing means using your money to buy things that hopefully go up in value over time, like real estate, stocks, or even a cool collectible bicycle. By investing, your money can grow alongside the value of those things, protecting it from the sneaky clutches of inflation. Think about it like this. If you buy a bike for $500 today, and in a few years bikes cost $520, your bike has become more valuable. That's like winning the money game. Not all investments are guaranteed to go up. But by diversifying your portfolio and choosing wisely, you can increase your chances of staying ahead of inflation. Another way to play the game smartly is to spend your money wisely. Avoid unnecessary debt and focus on needs over wants. Remember, every dollar you spend today is $1 less for your future self. Budgeting and planning your expenses can go a long way in helping you make the most of your money. Finally, it's important to stay informed about economic trends and government policies that can impact the value of your money. By understanding the forces at play, you can make more informed decisions about your finances and navigate the ever-evolving world of money. So, the next time you hand someone a dollar bill, remember, it's a special token in a giant game of buying and selling. It's not real treasure, but it helps us get the things we need and want. By understanding how money works and playing the game wisely, you can take control of your financial future and achieve your goals. I don't do small talks here. Like my every other videos, I will point out some things to keep in mind in order to win the game of life. 1. Respect time. Respect money. Respect the people who have money and love the people who can help you achieve money. Also, respect relationships. 2. Money isn't good or bad. It's the rule of the world, and you have to complete the objective. 3. Try not to waste your time on small money. Know your value. Your value should go up with time. That's all I needed to say. I appreciate you if you're still here with me. You probably have liked and subscribed. Thanks. Now, click left of your screen and watch my next video.